Okay, so we are going to take the final packet tracer task skill assessment for the network security CCNA course, and I'm just going to click on task assessment, and I'm using the latest version of packet tracer. Click, and I'm going to open packet tracer executable and give it some time so that it can load my packet tracer with the required file. Okay, so let's just give it some time so that we can proceed with the work. So we're going to click as success assessment and give it some time also. Okay, so the task has been loaded to our packet tracer. So what I'll do, I'll just click on dock here. Alright, so we have the instruction on the left and the topology on the right. So this is a topology that we are required to implement some technologies. Okay. Alright, so guys, I'll proceed and read the instruction very fast so that we can save time. So we have objectives here. Configure adaptive security appliance firewall to implement security topologies. Configure layer 2 security on LAN switch. Configure site-to-site IPsec VPN. Then we have a background or scenario. Okay, there's a company has been hired by a used car dealership that has a corporate headquarters and multiple branch offices. A car company has become concerned about network security and has contracted you to implement layer 2 security on ASA device and a VPN services from HQ to the branches. Your job is to prototype the network in the lab prior to your company installing the equipment at the car 1 sites. In the case, you will only implement VPN between headquarters and a single branch. Okay, some of the values and approaches to configuring devices in the simulated assessment may not conform to your current security best practices. In some cases, values have been simplified to streamline the assessment, and in other cases, values have been used by necessity in order to facilitate assessment. Okay, so we've got the scenario, and now we have the addressing table here. I'll expand. Okay, alright, so this is the addressing table. Alright, so this is the addressing table. We have the internet device HQ ASA 5506 branch server, etc. So part 1, we are required to configure basic settings on ASA device. Okay, HQ is already configured with a password, this one. So I'll copy this password so that we can log into the firewall. Okay, in order to receive full credit for your configuration, you must save your configuration after making any changes to the device configuration. Okay, configure the domain name, this one. So I'll go to this, let me do this. So this is the firewall. I'll click on the firewall and say enable, and we just copied this password that we've been told. It's already configured with this password, so I'll just paste and I hit enter. Okay, then we go to configure terminal, and we need to configure domain name of this one. I copy, I come to the firewall and I say domain name to be that one. I paste, sorry. Okay, and configure the host name as this one. So I'll copy this one. I'll say host name to be that one. I hit enter. Then part C, configure inside, outside and DMZ with the following. Okay, alright, so IP address of this one, and name of this one, a security level of that one, to gig 01. So I'll just going to enter, interface gig 1/1. Okay, then name if is outside, capital outside, and IP address of 209.165. Let me put this one somewhere here, somewhere there. 165, it's 165.200.253, and the subnet mask of /28 notation, which is equivalent to 255.255.255.240. okay, and hit enter. It should be IP address. I just wrote IP address, that one. Okay, and the security level to be 1. Okay, all right. So exit, we go back to the other interface, which is gig 02, gig 12, and the name if of inside. Okay, and then we have IP address of 192.168.10.1, then 255.255.255.0/24 notation, then a security level of 100. See here, 100. Okay, exit. Then we finally go to gig 13. Okay, then we start a name if of DMZ, demilitarized zone. Okay, then IP address of 192.168.20.1, subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. okay, then a security level of it has a security level of 70. okay, all right. So step 1 is done. So what I'll do, exit, and we write memory. In the case of firewall, we say write memory. Then we exit again. We go back to user exec mode. We just say, privilege exec mode, write memory, just like that. All right. Okay. So let's go to step 2. Step 2 requires us to configure DCP service on the firewall for internal network. DCP pool to be this one. DCP service should provide a net service. Okay. Then PC1, PC0, PC1, PC2 should receive IP address over DCP. Okay. So basically, we are required to configure the firewall here to provide these devices IP addresses automatically. So we are going to configure this firewall to provide IP address to these devices. So let's do that very fast. So I click on the firewall, and before that, guys, as you can see, these interfaces are down. This one is down, this one is down, this one is down. So what I'll do, I'll just go here and say config D, and interface range, do they apply in firewall? Gig 1/1 to 3. They don't apply here. So I'll just enable them individually. Okay, interface, that one, say no shut. Another one is this one, no shut. And finally we add that one, no shut. Exit. And let's proceed now to configure DCP server on the firewall. As you can see now, they are green, they are in hub state. Okay, so we're going to configure DCP server here. Okay, so the first step is to create the pool. We've been told to create a pool from 192.168.10.25 to 35. Okay, so we just say DHCPD. Okay, address. We say this pool here, which is 192.168.10.25 just space 192.168.10.35, and we say inside. Okay, very simple. See this one, a pool plus you give to use as inside the interface. Remember, we assigned an interface name of inside. Okay, all right, so you hit enter. Sorry, you have a problem somewhere. So I've just realized you just place a hyphen there and hit enter. Okay, interface netmask not valid. Okay, just a minute. I can see gig 1.2 has not been assigned IP address, but when you display, sorry, show start, when we display it here, it's there. Okay, but when we move over the firewall, you can see it has not been assigned IP address. So what I'll do, I'll just say let me just copy this one, copy, and I paste, and say no IP address. Okay, alright, so show run. So you'll see it doesn't have any IP address. Okay, so I'll assign it IP address again. So I paste the interface again, and I just copy this IP address and paste there. I copy and paste. Okay, and name it to be inside, and security level to be the security level was 100. Exit and write memory. Okay, so let me move over it again so that we can proceed with the configuration. Okay, now it's here. You can see when I move over it is here. So let's proceed to configure DCP pool. So we just say DCP DCPD. We create the pool, which is 192.168.10.25 to 192.168.10.35, and you say inside. Sorry, DCP address, it should be a DCP address, that one. Okay, now it's working. So let's create DNS. DNS should be the IP address of that interface, which is 192.168.10.1. okay, which is very simple. Hit enter, and then we include DCPD option 3, option let's say 3, with the IP address of 192, the IP address of the interface 10.1. okay, and now finally we enable the DCP service. DCP enable inside, enable from inside. Okay, right memory. Good. So let's go to those PCs and enable. Okay, as you can see, they have obtained successfully, and these are also it will obtain. Let's just give you some time. You see, it has obtained, and PC2 finally it has obtained. All right. So step 2 is done. Let's go to step 3. Let's go to step 3. Remember, we found a little bit of challenges when we are configuring DCP here. The IP address of gig02 was not displaying. So what I did, I removed it and reconfigured it again so that it picked automatically. All right. So step 3, configure default route that will enable host on HQ internal and the DMZ networks to communicate with outside host. Use IP address of HQ router interface as the gateway interface. Okay. All right. So guys, as you can see here, we have DMZ here, the military zone, and we have our internal network here. Okay, so and we've been told to use the IP address of this router HQ routers as the gateway interface. Okay, so default route should be forwarded to this IP address. Okay, so let's configure that very fast. So what I'll do, I'll just click on the firewall and begin the configuration. Config D. Okay, so let's create the default route. You know, in the case of a firewall, the firewall is different when we're configuring default routes on the router. So we just say, let me put this on here. Route. Let me query route outside. Okay, we want to route outside this way. So we want to route outside, so we just say route outside, outside. Okay, and any IP address matching any subnet mask, okay, should be routed through which interface? The interface of this router, which is let me just check. I'll just I don't know, let me just come here and copy the IP address of that router. IP address of HQ router, which is connecting to the firewall, this one. Okay, it's gig00, right? Okay, so I come here and paste that there. Okay, and I hit enter. All right, exit. I just say right memory. All right, so we go back to the instruction. Step 4. Now we've completed 1 to 3. So for step 4, we are required to configure the firewall with NTP and AAA. Okay, AAA. Okay, network time protocol and authentication, authorization, and accounting. SA is an NTP client for this one, this server. Enable authentication on that one. Then authentication key is this one, and the password should be that one. So that's very simple. Let's configure step A, okay, on this firewall, right? Alright, so I'll just say NTP authenticate, right? Authenticate. Okay, all right, and I hit enter. Then we say we've been told to use a key of 1 with the password of cop key. So I'll just say NTP authenticate key of 1, and let's encrypt the password using hashing. Let's hash the password using MD5, and the password is cop key, right? Cop key, right? Then we hit enter. Sorry, here should be authentication key. I'm sorry, authentication key to be 1, then MD5 cop key. Good. And then let's NTP server, let's specify the NTP server to be NTP server. I don't know where the NTP server is. Let me check, or let me just check on the diagram. And yes, the NTP server, which has a IP address of copy the IP address, and I come back to the firewall and give the IP address for NTP server, and I paste that one. Okay. And then finally we just specify the key as trusted NTP trusted key 1. Okay. All right, so we're done. Just say write memory. So step B, configure AAA and SSH. Very simple. Configure SA with the AAA authentication using the username, that one, and the password of that one. Very simple. So what we just do, we create the username, the password of this one. So the username will be car1. Copy. Okay. Then I'll just say username. I paste that cardmin1. Then password of I copy the password too. I copy. Then I paste. Okay. Alright, so configure AAA to use local database for SSH to console port. Right. So we just say AAA authentication. Let me just query SSH. We've been told to use SSH to local. Sorry, SSH. Let me query again console, and let me query local. Okay. We've been told to configure AAA to use the local database for SSH connection to the console port. So it's AAA authentication SSH console local. Hit enter. Then part 3, generate RSA key pair to support a modulus length of 1024. Just say crypto key generate RSA. Then let me query general key length. Let me query its modulus to be 1024. Okay, and we hit enter. Yes. Do you really want to replace them? Yes. Okay. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So the last step, configure HQ the firewall to accept SSH connection only from net admin workstation. Where is the net admin workstation? Is the net admin workstation having an IP address of that one? So I copy that IP address. Then we come back to firewall and configure the firewall to accept only SSH connection from that device. Okay. So I click and I say SSH. We create the IP. I create the IP address with a full subnet mask now, because it's only one device that will be accessing this service, which is SSH on the firewall, and we say inside because it's on the inside network. You see here. Okay, and hit enter. And now finally configure the timeout to be 20 minutes. So I just say SSH timeout to be only 20. Okay, and I hit enter. Then write memory. So step 4 is done. Let's go to step 5. Step 5 basically is to configure NAT. on the firewall. So create a network object called inside NAT with the subnet mask of that one, and enable IP addresses of the host in the internal network to be dynamically translated to access the external network via the outside interface. So we are going to configure NAT here, okay, on this firewall with the network subnet mask of this one. Okay, the NAT will be called inside NAT for our inside network, this one. Okay, and it should access the internet using this interface. Okay, and it should be translated using the IP address of that interface. Okay, so let's start with step 1. I click on the firewall. So the first thing that we do is to create the network object. So we just say network object. Sorry, we just say object network, not object network, not network object network of NAT inside NAT. I just say inside NAT. Okay, then we assign a subnet mask to that, a subnet of 192.168.10.0 and subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. okay, or then we should use the external interface outside the interface. Okay, so we just say NAT, and NAT should be inside to outside. Okay, outside dynamic interface, and I hit enter. So NAT from inside network to outside should use a dynamics interface. Okay, and then we just exit and we proceed to part B, which is to create a network object, this one, to statically translate the DMS website to this one. Okay, so let's create the network object with this business name. Click and we say config. Just say object network network of that one. Okay, to create a subnet, to statically translate DMZ web server internal IP address. So where's the DMZ web server internal IP address? Okay, here it is. Okay, which is this one, and it should be translated to this IP address. Okay, so that's very simple. Static address, static NAT. So let's configure the static NAT here. Just say host, because just only one device. Okay, that one. Then we say NAT bracket inside, DMZ to outside, DMZ to outside. Okay, DMZ to outside. Let me just do this. DMZ to outside should use which IP address? Let me just query. Static, good. Static, this one. Very simple, very simple. Copy. Okay, exit. Config. Another one is to configure DMZ DNS server. So the DNS server for this one is this one. DNS server is that one. I copy and I come to the firewall. Static address 2. So we just need to create another network object called object network. Object network of DMZ DNS server. Okay, good. And then after creating this this object, network object, we specify the host, just one IP address, which is that one, and this IP address should be translated into, let me just copy that one and I paste here, to 242.165.200.242. very simple. And I hit enter, exit, and write memory. Very simple. So let's proceed to step 6. So step 6 basically is to implement access control list on the firewall, and basically is to implement the security policy. So we are needed to configure a named access control list to permit inside host to be translated to the pool of outside IP addresses. Name the access control list NAT IP all. So all the inside host in the internal network should be translated to a pool of outside IP addresses. Good. So let's do that very fast. We'll start with the configuration of the firewall. Configure. Good. Okay, so I click on, alright, then config T, then access list, access list, this one, the one that I've just copied, it's extended access control list, permit IP, to permit a pool of name IP any. Okay, alright, that's step 1. I mean part A. Apply this one, apply this access control to DMZ and outside interfaces. That's very simple. So how do I apply access control list to a named access control list to an interface? Just say access group, this one, I'll just paste it, then in, okay, interface outside and DMZ, sorry, outside, then another one is DMZ. Good. So let's configure part C. Configure an access control list to allow access to the DMZ servers from the internet. Okay, create an extended named access control list, named this one outside to DMZ. Okay, I'll just copy to filter incoming traffic to this one. The SC statement should be created in order to specify the following guidelines. The order of this one is signed because it's not only because of the scoring requirement. Okay, the access control should contain 4 SCEs. Okay, HTTP is allowed to this one, DNS is allowed to this one, FTP is allowed from branch administrator workstation to this server. So let's start from part 1. Okay, so I'll click on the firewall and start the configuration. So we are being told to create another access control outside to demonetized zone. So I'll just say access control list, this one I paste outside to DMZ. Okay, it's extended access control is permit traffic HTTP should be permitted. TCP any host to which to DMZ web server has an IP address of let me just check here. Web server has an IP address of the transmitted IP address. We say the transmitted IP address because this was a kind of a NAT. Which one do we use here? I think we'll just use 209 because that's the translated IP address. 209.165.200.241. okay, and the equivalent should be port 80, which is which is for web HTTP service. Okay, then another entry should be for DNS traffic, both UDP and TCP for DNS. Okay, so I'll just do this, and DNS service always have 53 port number 53, and the IP address of the translated web server should be 242. So I change this to 242, and then we change here to TCP. The first thing is we've been told to use both TCP, so that's for TCP. Another one is for UDP. Another one is for UDP. Okay, all right. Then finally, FTP traffic from branch administrator workshop is allowed to DMZ web server. Okay, let me check administrator workshop. Okay, so this is the IP address that we are going to use, this one, which is 198.133.219.35. so we just go to the firewall and issue the same. We just say access control list outside to DMZ to be extended access control list, and for that case we're going to use TCP, and now we're going to use a specific host, which is let me do this host, specific host, which will be the IP address of the branch admin, this one. So I'll copy the branch admin, and just a minute, I'll copy the branch admin and do it very fast. Copy, then I come to the firewall and I paste there. Okay, and to the web to web server had IP address of on the DMZ 241. okay, the translated one. We use the one that is used for translation. So 241, okay. FTP has a port number of 50. That's correct. Good. Sorry, I have a problem somewhere. Host to host. Sorry, I should have used host that one. To which host? To host this one, and I hit enter. Now there's nothing wrong. Alright, so for the purpose of assessment, do not apply this access control list. Okay, so now write mem. Good. So let's go to part 2 of the assessment. Part 2 of the assessment requires to configure layer 2 security on the switch. Alright, for the assessment you will configure switch 1. So we go to where switch 1 is. I check where switch 1 is. Here is switch 1. Okay, disable all unused ports on switch 1. Configure all unused ports in access mode so that they will not negotiate trunks. Good. So for that case, let me just move over this switch here to see how many do show IP interface. Enable config do show IP interface brief. So how many interfaces I have? So this, just a minute, the three are up, which is first Ethernet 23, 24 and gigabit Ethernet 01. Then this one is up, first Ethernet 0/10. This one is up, first 0+5, and this one is up. Okay, so we need to disable this one and set them to access mode, so that they cannot negotiate trunks. Okay, all right. So let me check. First Ethernet 02 to 04 are down. So let me just reiterate them very fast. Interface range FA 0/2 to 4, they're down. Okay, another range from 6 to 9, they are down. Okay, another one, so comma first Ethernet 0/6 to 9, they are down. Okay, another range should be from 11, this one, to 22. So it's from comma first Ethernet 0/11 to 22 is also down. Then finally this interface is also done, which is gig 02. So comma gig 0/2. Good. So we've been told to disable all unused port. So on shutdown, we just say shutdown. Okay, after shutdown, guys, we've been said to send them to switch port mode access. Okay, then we say sorry, switch port no negotiate. Okay, exit and do right. Okay, let's go to part 2. On switch 1, configure port security on all the switch ports that are connected to hosts according to their requirements. Okay, the port should be configured as a static access ports. The port should learn MAC addresses of maximum of 2 MAC addresses. The port should record MAC addresses that have been learned in the device configuration. If a violation occurs, the port should drop packet from host MAC address that have not been learned, increment the violation mode and generate a syslog. Okay, so here we are going to use which violation mode, because we've just been told to the switch should drop the packet from host devices that have not been learned, increment the counter and generate a syslog. We've not been told the switch should shut down the port. So that the violation mode was restrict. I'll just go here, and this one is FA 0/1, FA 0/5 and FA 10, FA 1, FA 5 and FA 0/10. So I'll just say interface range FA 0/1, comma FA 0/5 and FA 0/10. Good. Then we just say switch port mode access. Okay, then you say switch port security. Then we say switch port security maximum of MAC addresses should be 2 MAC addresses. Okay, 2. Okay, then switch port security MAC address should be learned through sticky command. Okay, then switch port security violation mode to be, let me query, to be restrict. Okay, exit and do right. So we are done. We're done implementing step 2. Let's go to implement spanning tree protocol security. On switch 1, implement STP security measures on the active ports so that are connected to the ports that are connected to the hosts. So just these hosts. Okay. Configure the switch to disable host port that receive bridge protocol data units. Configure the ports to quickly go into HTTP forwarding mode without going through HTTP transitioning board. Do this on port by port basis, not on the entire switch. Okay. Alright, so we're required to configure HTTP security here, and you're going to configure what is called port first. Okay, so to do this. Okay, alright. So configure is disable. Okay. So an active port that are connected to hosts. So how many active ports that are connected to hosts here? So when you if we consider this topology here, these one are connected to the same switch, but this one, they are connected to, this is firewall and these are PCs and the server. So let me just do this. So I'll just copy this interface range and I paste there and include the interface of the that is connecting to the firewall. Gig 0, sorry, to hosts, to host, meaning it's only this one. Okay, alright. So what are you guys going to do? We're going to enable, we enter, then we just say spanning tree bridge protocol data unit guard to be, let me query, enable. We're just going to enable that one. Okay, then spanning tree port first, enable. Okay, exit. Do right. So we're done there. Let's go to part 3, which may be the final part to configure the VPNs. Alright. The branch and the key network already been configured with the host name and password, that one. To enable secret password, that one. Configure set VPN between HQ and branch routers according to the requirements below. So we are here, this one and this one, the branch router, this one. Okay, this one and this one. Okay, the following table parameters for the ICE camp phase 1 and phase 2 policies. That one. Okay, so let's start. Configure access control list, that one, on executed ready for the interesting traffic to be sent across the VPN. The interesting traffic is all traffic from the HQ LAN and branch LAN. HQ LAN and branch LAN. The interesting traffic. Where is the HQ LAN? Because this is the branch LAN. This is the external network. This is the HQ DMZ, and this is the internal network. So I may assume this is the HQ LAN. Okay, so now let's begin the configuration. So let's start with the HQ router. Click on the HQ router and hit enter. Username was supposed to be it's defined here. Username is this one. Copy and I paste. Password of this one. I paste. Sorry. Username is cop admin, and the password should be net sec hyphen and admin 1. Okay, enable, and the enable password should be in rtr hyphen admin p at 55. Okay, config t. Alright, so let's start. We've been told to configure access control list 120. Okay, permit IP. Okay, we've been told to use which IP, which direction from HQ LAN to branch LAN. Okay, so just so HQ LAN as a IP address. So okay, we will use this IP address, which is we'll use this IP address, this one, okay, which is 209. I'll copy 209.165.200.240. 209.165. Just a minute. 200.240. 200.240, and the wildcard mask of //28 notation is equivalent to 240, meaning it should be 0.0.0.15. To which direction? HQ LAN. The branch network, which is this one. The branch network is basically this one. Just a minute. Is 219.32, and /27 notation is equivalent to 224 minus 255 is equal to 31, so it's 0.0.0.31. Okay, so step 1 is done. Configure IceCamp phase 1 property on that HQ director. The crypto IceCamp policy with this one. Refer IceCamp policy parameter table. Okay, so we need to use IceCamp phase 1 policy parameters here. Okay, it's very easy. So I scroll up. Okay, we've been told to use policy of 10. Okay, so I'll just click on this router and begin the configuration. What I'll do basically is just to create the crypto, let's come up phase 1 is a policy, the policy of 10, as we've been directed here below, here. Okay, policy of 10. Okay, then just proceed up to use the phase 1 parameters, and just hit enter. And now what I do, I'll just include the encryption algorithm with advanced encryption system standard, with the key length of 256 here. Okay, hit enter, and then now we're going to use hash. The hashing method should be SHA. Okay, SHA what? Let me just query. Okay, that's fine. Okay, all right. Then authentication method should be pre-share. Hit enter. Then Defi Hellman group should be just say group 2. Then finally lifetime should be 1800. Hit enter. Okay, so exit. So that's done. Let's proceed to the next step. Okay, so just a minute. Configure phase 2. We will not complete it on phase 1 because we will not use the key. Okay, we will not use the key here. So I'm just trying to check out how we can use the key. Let me just read on part B. Configure scomp part C, phase 2 property on the 10 sequence number. Refer to property. Okay. The first thing, guys, I'll just include the preset. Not the preset key, but the scomp key. This one. Okay. So we need to configure it there. So what do we do? So we just say crypto scomp key of this one. I'll copy the key. Okay, copy the key and paste. And now we should include the peer address. The peer address should be the peer address of router 2, which is let me just check, branch router, this one. So it should be 192.133.219 dot the interface of the IP address of this interface, which is 0.0.0.0 198.133.219.2. okay, that's very, very simple. I just copy this IP address and change to 2, copy, and I paste and change that to 2, and I hit enter. Okay, so let's proceed to phase 2. To generate IPsec phase 2 policies parameter. Okay, so part C, configure the scomp phase 2 properties of the SKU introducing 10 as the sequence number. Refer to this table here. So we want to refer to this table when we are creating scomp phase 2 policies. Okay, which is very, very simple. Just say hit enter. Okay, so the first thing is just to create the transform set. So I just say crypto IPsec. The transform set should be the name of transform set should be VPN set here. Okay, VPN set. Okay, then it should use the transform set of this one. I just do that, and I say ESP, and I query ESP hyphen AES, and I query hyphen ES ESP hyphen ES. Okay, then ESP again, ESP share that one, and we hit enter. Okay, all right. So the next thing is to create a crypto map with this name, VPN name. We just say crypto map. The name should be here. As we've been told to create a crypto map policy of 10. Okay, so crypto map, the name should be VPN map. So VPN map, and number 10, policy 10. Okay, then let's bind it to IPsec. Okay, this crypto will remain disabled until a peer or a valid access list have been configured. Good. So what we need to do now is to match the IP address, match address. We need to match address. Sorry, match address to 120 here. Match address should be the access control list. Okay, we choose 120. Okay, and then we need to set the transform. Just need to set the transform. The transform set to be VPN set. The VPN set here, VPN set, and we hit enter. Then we need to set peer set. Sorry, peer set peer to which IP address, just the IP address that we just copied here. Copy IP address this interface, okay, and I paste. That's very simple, and I hit enter. Okay, so now let's just a minute. We need to set the PFS groups before, so we just say set PFS groups to be group 2. Good. Now that's good, that's done. Then we need to set the security association lifetime, then to be seconds 1800. Then exit. Okay, then finally on this router we need to assign, we need to activate the policies on the interface, this interface which is serial 000. So we just set the serial 00 interface, serial 0/0/0. Okay, then what we do, we just say crypto map, the name of the VPN that we just created, this one, VPN map, this one. Copy and I paste here. Good, so that's done. What I do, I just exit and do right. So let's go and check what's remaining. So we've done until here. Bind the VPN on the outgoing interface. We just learned that. Configure IP parameters and using the parameter. So we need to do the same on this router. So I'll do that very fast to save time. Okay, to save time, guys, I've just written those commands on the notepad, the same command that we just used here. So what we were just changing was just the peer addresses and the access control list, okay, source and destination, but everything remained the same as per given on the policy tables. Okay, so I'll just copy these two to the branch router. First I'll do this one. The username was copadmin, and the password was netsec -admin 1 enable, and the enable password was rtr-admin p@ 55. Okay, so config t, and I copy the command that I've just written right now, copy, and I paste, and just give it some time and do right. So guys, basically I think I've configured everything as required in the task, okay, and I believe everything will work as per the requirement. So what I'll do is very simple. I'll just go back and submit the task, and I'll just say submit the task and see how much you've gotten. Just have to give it some time so that it can submit the task. So I'll just wait.